at what they did to Opuni. Why? Because some government appointees were beneficiaries of the fraudulent activities of Namwan. This incompetent and greedy government is protecting Namwan. I urge other opposition radio stations to go to Dubai on a fact-finding mission. Don't trust this government and the fake reports from Joy FM. Please tell Nanado to keep his condolences to himself. What did he do when his useless MP was behaving recklessly by splashing the photos of Ahmed on his TV station? Well, this one from Foster in Abeka says, "Good morning, comrades. I believe Kennedy Japan has a secret of a Akufo-Addo which, if care is not taken, will explode. Being an MP now should be the least desire for any serious personality following the demeanor of Kennedy Japan. Why is the police trying to cover up the death of Mohammed when Kennedy Japan, the suspect, is walking around? No citizen should waste time and feed the police with any information. Akufo-Addo and the MPP and bloodshed, and also men's gold customers shouldn't sleep. Else Akufo-Addo, who has teamed up with Namwan, will chop your money free." And that's from Foster in Abeka. Philip Adika, also known as Dasani in Italy, says, "Good morning, my ardent host and your brutal team. When two or more people come together as a society, begins to form. And when a society is formed, the law is collectively made to govern that society. And it is accepted that no one is above the law. I beg to ask, if there are laws and the laws are not working, then do we say there are laws? When the laws in society favor some people and deal with some people, do they claim they have laws? Does the law of Ghana cover the lawmakers? How can a whole lawmaker incite other members of a society against others, and that lawmaker will be allowed to move freely with that same society? And it is until today that we are all making noise. Do we have some days that the laws do not work? Ghana is practicing a divide and rule taxes. Please, we should not allow this country to be torn into pieces before something is done." Musa Abatwa in Kumasi says, "Senna, this is how far we have come as a nation. The sad state of insecurity we are experiencing. ANAS and Tiger IPI have over a decade been doing undercover investigations exposing corruption both in the civil societies and in government. Nobody killed any of his team members. When a question was posed to then opposition leader, now the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, in respect of fighting corruption at the IEA debate, he said, and I quote, 'I'll use ANAS's principles to fight corruption. So why are they fighting ANAS rather than using his method to deal with the canker? Can we sleep with both eyes closed? Kofi Kumsun, come for your story. My condolences to Ahmed Swale, his wife, and Ahmed Swale's wife and the 3 children. God save Ghana.' And this one from Eric Kono at La Paz says, if investigative journalism can be killed, if an investigative journalist can be killed just like that in the 21st century, are we safe in this country? What's the Ghana police and CID doing about the clear video recording from Mr. Kennedy Japan? After the death of this journalist, Kennedy Japan is walking free, bragging that nobody can arrest him. This can only happen under the leadership of President Nanado. Tafai Namrehia says, Anas did undercover work under Rawlings. Nobody gets killed. Anas did undercover work under J. Kufo. Nobody gets killed. Anas did undercover work under Tamils. Nobody gets killed. Anas did several undercover works under JM. Nobody gets killed. Anas did first undercover work under Nanado. And his lead undercover operative is shot dead. We all know the president who is presiding under a state of lawlessness in this country, where all deceived by his supposed fake humility. From Taifa says, good morning, comrades. I regret being a Ghanaian following the current leadership of this nation who delights in bloodshed. Akufo-Addo personally delights in, that's a serious obligation. Let me move on. He says that why is the police covering up with the truth when the prime suspect, Kennedy Japan, is walking and making noise? No citizen should waste time and give any information to the police. Akufo-Addo and police should continue covering.
Only to be met with this terrible incident. So at this moment, I think to the mother, immediate family, and the extended family for that matter, and then to the fraternity he belonged to, that our condolences, our heartfelt condolences to them. Death is an inevitable end of everybody, but not through these means. When young people die under these circumstances, it's very, very sad, and I think we must express that. You know, I said in this studio when this early last year, when this announced expose on the sport, football came up, and I did say, in commending Anas and his team, one point had come out clearly that the state institutions have failed, because it shouldn't be the work of Anas. And in all these, I will put the police service on the spotlight. The police service. That will come at the later stages of my presentation. My comrade here and the Honorable brought us some names. Back in 2007, Rocco Fimpon, the then Deputy Managing Director of Ghana Commercial Bank, was killed. Who killed him? Prominent citizen like Yana. He's something like from the boat, from the blues, that maybe we are sitting here, God forbid, and something wrong. Here was an overlord. Preceding incidents with an indigene as interior minister. And the open graphic early March incident at Yindi, 3 killed. Build up, and to date, whether aliens from the astral world came and picked Yana away, or there was invasion from another country, or whatever happened, to date, a prominent citizen like the late Yana, may his soul rest in peace, who killed him? Then you, ASP Nanka Bruce. At the time, the president had inspected guard of honor and was sitting in his office. We saw the tape. What has happened? And then you trail on to the latest one, just I think early this week. So, you see, Honorable, you are a member of one important arm of government. And governance is cheap in Africa. It's cheap. So we are heading towards primaries and other things. And come next year by this time, the heat will start, leading to December. And all plethora of promises. And so it is easy for anybody to dream, to aspire towards the position of the head of state, sworn in with all the glamour, pomp and pageantry. He assumes office, and that is what we are seeing. Paternalistic, self-conceited. I am president. I'm vested with the power, so I can decide not to bother. I can roll out policies. I don't give a damn. And people perhaps will be pleading come election. Oh, when I come, I'm going to give you 1 dam for 1 village. I'm going to build this market, etc. As if you are coming to the presidency or government with your own investment or endowment legacy left for you by your parents, but not to come to the point where sachet water, 70 pesos bottle of water, you'll be looking for tax on it. Governance is cheap in Africa. But you know, one day, I have always said the political establishment, the system they have created will slap them in the face. Bam! I wouldn't get there, because the way we are going is amazing. You know, back in 2002, I recall when late Aliyu Muhammad, so rest in peace, the vice president, launched this campaign on discipline or indiscipline. And we were at a radio program on the eve of the 2002 independence anniversary celebration, and late J.H. Mensami, so also rest in peace, was on the program with Right Reverend Abuaje, who was then the president of the Methodist Church of Ghana. And we made a point that, look, there are so many aspects of our way of life that really underpin or factors that could influence governance in terms of security. And I cited the point, look at the reckless physical development that we have. And the whole act of policing, the act of policing we have, for me, is archaic. You understand? And I will recall an incident, and the late President Liman, may he also rest in peace, who told us that when he assumed office in 1979, I'm on radio. He assumed office in 1979, following the AFRC revolution and the near anarchic state situation that occurred. He had a call from the British High Commissioner, who was then calling on him to bid farewell after his end of his term of office in Ghana. And he made a request to the then departing British High Commissioner that, look, I will tell your government, but the Thatcher's government, I will need their support to fight crime. You know, the revolution will happen, arms here and there. And he said, well, Your Excellency, I will follow it up. He said, barely 10 days, the Home Office sent a delegation. And they met him at the castle. And they now discussed the subject in detail. So they said, with the support of the Ghana Police Service under the Ministry of Interior's guidance, they would like to visit the country. And they were away for about 5 days. And then they came to give a preliminary report. And the leader of the delegation said, oh, Mr. President, we know you indicated that you want to recruit or beef up your numbers. Then I can tell you, Mr. President, I know to know palatable, your police service was overstaffed. He said, hey, you can't tell me this. people know we have to recruit every year. He said, no, your police service was overstaffed. Well, we are not telling you not to recruit. We are not telling you to dismiss. But the whole act of policing needs a thorough review. He said, we visited the countryside. And your major issues are with the security issues, are with the urban centers. The countryside, everybody knows everybody. So their socio-cultural way of life itself has an inbuilt security system with it. But it's in your urban areas. And they outlined, and said they were going, but they sent a detailed report, and that was what he was sharing with us. So he said, look, your physical planning is very important. Motivation for your police officers. Working tools. The barracks should go off. Or even if those are the land areas you have in the urban centers where land acquisition is very difficult, put up decent houses or accommodation or flats to motivate them. Retraining. You understand? And then the patrol system. And at this point, let me digress and tell you of my personal experience. Where I studied in Canada, in a city called Saskatoon. And the development pattern is like what you see in East Legon, Airport, and Ranka here. Every 2 blocks, avenue or street, everywhere is accessible. I had a personal experience where my landlord, I live on the ground floor, and the landlord lives upstairs. I was in school about a kilometer away. Then the landlord phoned. He said, come over. I just took my bag. Within 10 minutes, I was at the venue. When I got there were 5 police patrol cars. Apparently, somebody had broken in from the back gate, which I use. And the landlord said he heard somebody forcing the door. So he thought I was the one trying to open. But when he got out, he realized it was rather from outside. Then he said, who? And the guy bolted. But the way the patrol system is that there are patrols all over. They are just driving. If it is 50 kilometers, if it's a traffic light, red light, they stop. It's traffic, they were in it. That's the art of patrolling. And the whole city, which is about 1/4 the size of Accra, had only one police station. But they were on patrol with their handcuffs and this in the well-fortified Chevrolet vehicles patrolling. So once a crime happened at a location, let's say in front of Radio Gold, those around Zongo and then the Tankase line just converge to see whether they could all pull their efforts to solve the problem. And that was what happened. So when I got there, they took statements from me. They also interviewed the landlord, and they indicated that they were. They indicated that they will be calling later, and 4 of the vehicles left, and then one that was responsible for the area was there. You understand? Then, after everything, I was just telling you what Comrade was saying. They dashed down to the police station because they asked the question, "Sir, you saw the man?" He said, "Yes." "So, if I show you a picture, will you identify him?" He said, "Yes." So, we were there. Within 20 minutes, another police vehicle came. And what happened? Any crime, as you were saying, they have the records, pictures. So they knew if it's this contract murder, they will know human behavior. They will know. They will release you. They knew where, but because everywhere you have zoning and everything, they knew where everybody was. Do you understand? So immediately, what happened? They knew a break-in, potential break-inners. And they brought the pictures. They said, "This is the guy." He said, "It could be this guy." Then they said, "Come over to the police station." And then, come over to the police station. And that was 2 p.m. We will call you around 4:30. Lo and behold, I accompanied the landlord. We went there. The guy was behind bars. And I'm talking of an incident 1989. Personal experience. You understand? Then bring this to the fore of the police service that we have here. And look, the time we were young, we knew the police to be buga buga. They thought illiterates and other people were there. Master say, "Come and take you." But now take an inventory and look at the bureaucracy and the hierarchy. District Commissioner of Police, district this, and virtually district commands, and the police service can rival any institution in terms of qualification. Those who will be PADs. So the leadership of the police service is so the leadership we knew years ago. And the principles and practices of crime detection, abatement, investigation are well documented. And as he said, there is an incident or a crime scene, and you say police goes there, no gloves. And look at the menace of these motor riders. They are a menace to everybody. Somebody gives you a way to just join the traffic. If you don't take it, they will knock you. They don't respect the traffic regulation, but they are motorists. So now, it is easy to be on a motor and go and kill anybody and then walk away. It's easy. So the policing that we are having, physical planning. Look at Accra. Accra is not Ghana, but we are speaking from the perspective of what we claim is the most developed community in Ghana, that is Accra. And take the motorway from the Tekwashi all the way to Malam and project the sprawling development, the physical facilities or structures you have north of the motorway. Do you know the only roads that are accessible? You are at Kwashima, and the one that goes through in a tortuous manner to Ofanko. Then you get to Awoishi, and the one that goes through Ajan. Then you get to Malam. The entire stretch from Machimota, I can bet you, the roads there, none has even one bucket, what do you call it, a bottle of quota. And those are communities that have been there for the last 30 years. And Accra is expanding and moving on. How do you even patrol? And now even the areas south where you can see they are accessible because they are old developments. Kaneshi, Odoko, these are here. I mean, even if the roads are not motorable, you can even move. If it means moving, covering 1 kilometer in 30 minutes, you can move. The police, look at them. They are the number one culprits when it comes to traffic offense. There is traffic buildup. They are not on any what do you call it, crime investigation track. They just go and leave us. So if you are a motor rider, why don't you follow? The IGP told us last 2 years or 2017 that by June, those who use siren, they will stop. But they do so with impunity because the police are the first people to break traffic rules. So the police service that we have now, is it a nurse that should be doing investigation? What is the CID there for? Our internal security is the exclusive role of the responsibility of the police service. So what's the police service there for? And you have IGP with his commanders, and when they announce reshuffling of a movement here and there, you see his top heavy structure. Commander here, commander there, director of public services, director of operations, director of this. It's a heavy structure. And what are they doing? So you have all these personalities and many more that perhaps will not come to light. These are people that the lady who was murdered just about a week ago, then we just have Ahmed. And to date, then you talk of Kennedy Ajipon. It's a shame. We have a diplomatic mission here. The whole international community is represented here. They watch, they know. It's a shame. Can you expect a U.S. congressman or woman to behave this way? A congressman to behave this way? And the whole FBI will look on? Or the county police? Who dare you? So governance is cheap. Governance is cheap. And I think what is happening is an indictment on our conscience as civilized people and the leadership of various forms, political leadership, religious leadership, traditional rulers, etc. This is the way we are going. We must be very careful. But like I say, when I will look at younger people, we always say, God should not let that happen. Because the way we are going, I always say, the end may be chaotic. Because that is order. But we cannot afford to have it that way. And I know that successive governments will either have to sit up. Other than that, there's a story where I watched something on YouTube. I think an Indian legislator who was voted into parliament, and they never saw him again. He came campaign time. You saw him, and they boxed him and whipped him, and he had to vote away in his scooter. So those who come promising, they must watch out. And as we keep on saying, we've created assemblies. What development do we see? The district chief executive is the president of the district, and the district assembly is the parliament of the district. And in some areas, only one road running through the district. So that district parliament and the district president, what have they provided for us? And we have a law where we are creating more. You understand? So, well, I think we have interesting discussion when it comes to men's gold. But these are the key issues. And he raised a point when you interviewed him over the weekend, and he did raise it again. Is that the policing that we want? The professionals there with the requisite background. Then what is happening? Are they happy that you kill these prominent people and we cannot detect anything? Is it okay? And I think the IGP must be reflecting. Must be reflecting. You are not an IGP for the sake of it. Well paid. Is that the art of policing? He must be aware of the practices and principles and practices of policing. Is that what we are having here? And how are they influencing the other variables that should make their work efficient? I think the public will answer the rest.
I think
Okay. Before you do, I'll bring you in shortly. Let me just read a couple of the messages I'm getting from my listeners, and then I'll take some closing comments from you. Alasan Koibawa says, Sena, This is from the PABMC DH page. Says, and we have to be careful as a country because Canada, Japan can talk nonsense and go free. But it was an ordinary Ghanaian or a poor man. Police will arrest him. It seems some people are above the law, so we should be careful. If we don't take time to reach a stage, all of us will not respect the laws anymore. Kobna Danso Ebiam says he's sort of responding to Prof. Says police cannot do a nurse's job because they are corrupt. Habib Bantus says good morning to you, Senna, and your cherished listeners around the world. The insecurity in the country is too much. Ahmed Suale is a hero and a freedom fighter. The president of Ghana has failed Ghanaians totally. Corruption is the order of the day. Crime is everywhere. Ghanaians are not safe under Nana Akufo-Addo government. Everybody is afraid to talk about what is going on today in the country. Even the international community have seen that Ghana is not safe under Nana Akufo-Addo. Ahmed, rest in perfect peace. Aluta country. I stand for justice for Ahmed. And John Kwamina says police departments are outmoded, including the office of the IGP. They gunned down 7 innocent boys and ran them as armed robbers. Shame, oh shame. Kojo Ado Kwao says that president and government are just misleading the country to show as if they are doing something unique in the case of the Namuan issue. But that can only be told or shown to the Marines. We are fast awake and understand what time it is. This one from Ben Bruce says, is Nanado a human rights lawyer? It beggars belief. I seriously think that he's not really in charge. Benedict Adankwa only asked, hi Senna, are we safe? And Saki Nashim says, we are no more safe in Ghana. And Omar Ali, please, the Nana Akufo-Addo government is, he actually calls the government good for nothing, but just a looting entity. We're also expecting that we'll be joined by Sami Yemfe a bit later on, and pretty shortly. Prof has also indicated to us that he will begin the topic on men's codes. But let's take some short comments first from Adib on the topic.
On the security. Somewhere last year, my center, the Jatikay Center for Human Security and Peace Building, we conducted a survey of about 300 Ghanaians. We sought to find out from them why they owned guns. And it would interest you to note that majority of them, about 85% of them, said they couldn't trust the police to protect them. So even if you have instances where criminals are emboldened to the extent that they are able to march to police station, kill an officer and release their comrades, and even in some cases like it happened in Takoradi recently, the young man is a very notorious rapist. He was able to cut his way out of cells using a blade, and I think a saw blade of some sort. So it leaves so many questions unanswered. And in some cases, when you have certain individuals, in a quest to protect themselves, taking the laws into their own hands, I mean, you sometimes have no excuse not to side with them to some extent, because all the issues Prof has catalogued is not rocket science. We don't need a professor emeritus to tell us that there's the need for us to have a database of criminals or individuals who have been even involved in minor crimes. We don't need a professor, we don't need an alien to come from outer space to tell us that. We need a fingerprint database that can help tremendously in investigation. When you go to other jurisdictions, apart from the fact that they have a list of persons who have been involved in break-ins before, in some cases, they have a list of pedophiles. So if there's any act that is pedophile in nature, what they do is they generate that report and they are able to go after these persons. They ask them hard questions, and it is tremendously in the investigation process. It is worrying, and it makes us very worried as well, because the nature of our work puts us in the line of fire. I am a security person. I talk about security on a daily basis. I teach people. I even have a social media magazine program. I teach people I educate people about the need for them to protect themselves and all that. So what it means is I am putting some criminals out of business. You understand? So I could be a target. You are a journalist. Obviously, there are some, instances. Sometimes you might step on someone's toes. All right, Professor is here, Honorable is here, Sami Jemfi is here. By nature of our work, it puts us in the line of fire. So I think it's important that moving forward, like I always educate, we also have to protect ourselves. Indeed, the police population at the moment is about 32,000. That makes the police civilian ratio, one police officer to about 900 citizens. But that it is required under the UN standards that it should be one police officer to about 500 citizens. But let us not forget about the fact that many of these officers are on peacekeeping duties. Some are assigned to how many ministers and deputy ministers. Some are assigned to MMDCs, corporate world like banks, savings and loans. So in the end, you realize that even the 32,000 is woefully inadequate, like it's way below the 32,000. So there's the need for us to also exercise some discretion in taking care of ourselves, okay? And I tell us, I educate people, the kind of information we give out about ourselves on social media is not helping, because criminals are able to use it to generate what we call profiles of us. When you wake up, they know you're awake, they know the food you eat, what time you leave for work, what time you get to work, your children, their faces, their names, what school they attend, what time you pick them up from school. And that is dangerous, because you give them the capability to even break into your home when you are not there, and they are able to, I'm sure, prepare soup, drink tea, watch TV, because they know what time you get back home. And the issue of kidnapping is becoming more worrying. Our children are constantly at risk. Please, let us protect these young ones. It's not always necessary that we let the whole world know our itinerary, that we are out of town, we are going to Dubai for holidays. Now the criminals are very accustomed to us leaving our keys under our doormats, on top of our doors, in the flower pots, etc. So please, let us also be careful with the way we manage our personal security, because the police cannot be everywhere all the time. Hence, we also have a responsibility in that regard. And back to the issue of Kennedy Japan, I think it would have helped if he, shuts up. Because politicians, just like religious figures, have a unique characteristics. I mean, they have the power to galvanize support. So whatever you say on radio or on the pulpit has a direct implication on the thinking, on the assumptions, the perceptions of your followers. So it is highly likely that someone would follow through on what Kennedy Japan has said. I'm not saying that is the case, but it's highly likely to carry out that dastardly activity. So I always indicate, look, this is not politics, but trust me, if Ghana were a serious country, Kennedy Japan would have been picked up right after making those statements. And I also, to a large extent, blame the media. I'm a member of the Ghana Journalists Association. I'm a media myself. Sometimes you bring guests into the studio, they say so many reprehensible, irresponsible things, and you allow it to happen. I mean, that perpetuation, that cycle of irresponsibility, we seem to be aiding and abetting that process. And I think it's important that going forward we take note. So overall, I think politicians would have to show the greatest deal of commitment, not just the talk. Indeed, when the president was elected, one of his first appointments was the National Security Minister, which is in line with the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act. But like Honorable Agalga has rightly stated, crime is on the ascendancy, and that is quite contradictory. That is, it's strange that we have the National Security Minister, we are think with 2 deputies, and yet crime is on the rise. That means we are not doing something right. So let us go beyond the rhetoric, the talk, the sweet, sugar-coated words, and show the right level of commitment into dealing with the security situation in the country, from robbery to break-ins to the vigilante menace. Else, trust me, we are losing it within the international system. I've spoken with a number of diplomats, and trust me, you wouldn't want to know the kind of things they are saying about us.
Well, so we've been joined in the studio by Sami Jemfi, who is a communications officer for the National Democratic Congress. But Prof has indicated to me that you'd have to depart shortly. So,